Morgan everyone! For today's video, I'm going to be talking about hyperpigmentation, what it is, how to treat it, ingredients to look out for, so let's go ahead and get started. When we're talking about hyperpigmentation is always a major skin concern or skin issue because hyperpigmentation is extremely frustrating and every single one of us has experienced hyperpigmentation at one point or another. So when you're talking about hyperpigmentation, there are three forms of hyperpigmentation, or I should say three main forms of it. Now those three main categories include melasma, PIH, which is post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, and sun damage. So sun damage is kind of the umbrella term for freckles or dark spots or anything like that. Basically anything that encourages your skin to produce melanin is considered hyperpigmentation. Melasma is basically something that a lot of pregnant women experience because they're going through a lot of hormonal changes and babies, and so it's actually also called the mask of pregnancy, and their skin tends to darken in areas that are exposed to the sun. The next category is PIH, or post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, and this is basically caused by anything that causes trauma to the skin. So the most common PIH that you'll experience most likely will come from things like acne. Other things that cause trauma to the skin can also cause PIH, which includes eczema and psoriasis. Of course, the last category is something that we are also very familiar with, and that is sun damage. So like I mentioned, this is freckles, this is dark spots, this is basically anything that causes melanin to produce in the skin, which the rays from the sun are excellent at. So you definitely want to take every opportunity to protect your skin, wear that SPF, but of course, inevitably, sometimes you still get dark spots, freckles. I still get them from time to time. So in today's video, let's go ahead and address how we can take care of some of this hyperpigmentation that we're experiencing. Now, before we get into ingredients, let's go ahead and cover the idea of whitening or brightening in Korean skincare. And I think I've gone over this several times on my channel, but just to clarify, when it comes to whitening products or brightening products in Korean skincare, it usually means more so to get the appearance of that translucent, flawless, even skin-toned type of a look. Not necessarily the idea of lightening your skin tone or bleaching your skin tone. It's more so to even out your skin tone. So I would say it goes more so brightening with hyperpigmentation. The word whitening just has that connotation, and understandably, mind you, that you're trying to like get rid of every single pigment on your skin, and that's just not necessarily the case. It's more like a lost in translation kind of thing. So like I said, it's more so brightening goes hand in hand with hyperpigmentation, and even that, it's more so to me to even out your skin tone and to make it look flawless and unmarked or unmarked. Now that we've kind of covered what can possibly cause hyperpigmentation, now I'm going to go over some ingredients to look out for in case you're trying to treat those areas of concern. And because there are so many ingredients on my list, I am going to try to go over them as briefly but as in-depth as possible. Kind of an oxymoron there, but I don't want to bore you guys with too much of the scientific talk, so I'll kind of try to give you the gist of what I think is important. So the first ingredient that we're going to be talking about is licorice root. Now licorice root contains galabardin, which inhibits the enzyme that tends to darken your skin. So it basically stops that whole process. It also decreases the production of melanin in your skin, and you're going to see this pattern come up in a lot of these ingredients. Most of these ingredients are going to stop or inhibit the excess production of melanin in your skin. The next two ingredients that I'm going to be covering are very famous ingredients for treating dark spots, hyperpigmentation, acne marks, or anything like that, and that is vitamin C, and that is also niacinamide. Now, vitamin C inhibits the enzyme tyrosinase. Tyrosinase, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, which I'm probably going to mispronounce a lot of things in this video, is something that also produces melanin. Vitamin C in general is kind of one of those like knockout ingredients you'll see that is kind of like the #1 defender when it comes to hyperpigmentation or brightening up your skin. Now, niacinamide kind of goes hand in hand with vitamin C because niacinamide actually stops the melanin from getting to the outer surface of your skin. So it actually works at a lower level than a lot of these other ingredients, which works at the upper level or the epidermis. Basically, niacinamide kind of breaks that up before it gets to the surface. Now, when it comes to vitamin C and niacinamide, a lot of people want to incorporate both ingredients into their skincare routine. However, these two are very tricky. And even though they're both powerhouses when it comes to knocking out hyperpigmentation or any other skin related issues, they cannot be used in conjunction with one another because essentially they cancel each other out, which is a big boo in skincare routines. If you want to use both in your skincare routine, the rule of thumb is to basically wait 30 minutes in between applying each of the products. But in all honesty, that's a little unrealistic for most of us because skincare routines are usually already slightly extensive, or if you're like me, pretty extensive. So you can either use one in the morning or one at night, or just use them on separate days in general. The next ingredient that I'm going to be talking about is Kojic Acid, and Kojic Acid is an ingredient that is derived from fungi, aka mushrooms and other interesting funguses. Kojic acid is very well known for not only inhibiting melanin, but it is also very good because it is a more natural ingredient, therefore it is good for those of us who have sensitive skin. Now the next ingredient that I want to be talking about is arbutin, which is synthetically derived from bearberries, and this ingredient is very highly touted because basically it is a slow releasing ingredient. So it is also very good for those of us who want to brighten our skin but tend to have sensitivities towards other harsher ingredients. Many of the other ingredients on this list, basically arbutin inhibits the production of melanin, and it also stops dark spots or any type of damage from UV rays from forming. And it also reduces the darkening of skin whenever you overexpose it to the sun. Now the next ingredient, soy, is kind of similar to niacinamide in the sense that it actually breaks up the melanin before it gets to the surface of the skin. It's definitely one of those ingredients like niacinamide that you want to incorporate in your skincare routine because it's almost like prevention, even though it's breaking up something that's already under the skin. You just don't see it yet, so before it gets to the surface, it's kind of good to have these types of ingredients in your skincare routine, if that makes sense. Now, ellagic acid is something that is found in pomegranates and most berries, and the cool thing about this ingredient is that not only does it inhibit the production of melanin like all of the other ingredients pretty much on this list, but it also contains a lot of antioxidants since you get it from those like dark berries that contain a lot of those free radical fighting type of properties, so it's just good in general to have those in your skincare routine as well. Now last we have retinols, and in all honesty I was kind of hesitant to talk about this skincare ingredient because it is a very effective skincare ingredient for certain skin types, and it also is kind of one of those powerhouses that has a lot more properties to it, and it's a lot more effective in a lot of different ways than a lot of the other ingredients on this list because retinols are obviously very good for wrinkles, it's good to fight free radicals, it's kind of like one of those ingredients that does a lot of things all in one. However, my issue with retinols is my skin does not tolerate retinols. Retinols are very hard to incorporate into your skincare routine if you have sensitive skin. And as I've gotten older, I find that my skin is a lot more sensitive than it used to be. And it sucks because I want to use retinols, but every time retinols touch my face, even in very small percentages, I just break out like crazy. So usually, if I have an adverse reaction to a skincare product, the first thing I look for is retinol. And that's usually the culprit for causing breakouts. And that's not to say that retinols are not effective and that they won't work for your skin. However, if you're like me and have sensitive skin, definitely proceed with caution because those things are very tricky. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now obviously I didn't cover every single ingredient that will help brighten your skin tone or help deal with hyperpigmentation, but I just want to cover some of the ones that I personally like and some of the more talked about ones. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys want me to do a video on some of my favorite products for hyperpigmentation in another video, but I just wanted to kind of lay out the facts, explain what hyperpigmentation is, how to deal with it, ingredients to look out for. So in case you're in the store, at Ulta, at Sephora, at something like that, and you are checking out skincare, you know what to look for now. As always, I hope you guys are happy and healthy, and don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!